The massive Federation survey ship hung in space like a silver needle against the black canvas of stars. On the bridge, 4 different alien species stared at their screens in complete disbelief. They had found something impossible, a planet that shouldn't exist, much less support life. "This can't be right," muttered Commander Gray, his crystalline form reflecting the blue light from the planet below. "Run the scans again." The data stayed the same. Planet Earth, as its inhabitants called it, defied everything the Federation knew about habitable worlds. The atmosphere was highly toxic, filled with corrosive oxygen. The temperature swings between regions were extreme enough to shatter most known life forms. Worse still, the gravity was crushing by galactic standards. "Sir," called out Officer Blue, her gas-based form swirling in agitation inside her containment suit. "We're picking up artificial signals. Thousands of them." The bridge fell silent. Artificial signals meant intelligent life. But how could anything survive, let alone build a civilization, in such hostile conditions? They watched in amazement as their screens filled with images of Earth's inhabitants. The humans, as they called themselves, walked around in nothing but thin layers of cloth. They had no protective suits, no breathing apparatus, no gravity compensators. They simply existed in these lethal conditions as if they were normal. "Look at this," said Technical Officer Root, pointing at a particular video feed. "They immersed themselves in dihydrogen monoxide for fun." The crew shuddered. The very same compound could dissolve some Federation species on contact. The Federation's first official contact happened at Orbital Station 7, where Tom Walker was fixing a satellite relay. He was a station engineer, more comfortable with tools than people, but fate had other plans that day. Tom was outside the station when the Federation ship appeared. At first, he thought he was seeing things. The massive vessel seemed to phase into existence, its hull gleaming with symbols he'd never seen before. His radio crackled. "Human station. This is the Galactic Federation survey ship Eternal Discovery. We come in peace and wish to establish contact." Tom looked at his coffee thermos floating beside him and wished he had something stronger. "This is Orbital Station 7. I'm Tom Walker, station engineer. Welcome to Earth orbit." The next few hours were a blur of activity. The Federation representatives couldn't enter the station. Earth's atmosphere would kill most of them. So they set up a specialized meeting chamber on their ship. Tom found himself sitting across from beings that looked like living crystals, swirling gases, and even one that seemed to be made of pure energy. "Mr. Walker," Commander Gray began, his crystalline form pulsing with each word, "we need to understand how your species survives these conditions. Our initial scans suggest your planet is one of the most dangerous we've ever encountered. We classify it as Deathworld Blue 7. Tom scratched his head. "Dangerous? Earth? I mean, sure, we get some rough weather sometimes, but it's home." The aliens exchanged looks of astonishment. Officer Blue's gaseous form swirled faster. "You consider periodic atmospheric bombardment with electrical charges merely rough weather?" "You mean lightning?" Tom laughed. "Yeah, that's just part of life on Earth. Wait until you hear about hurricanes." The meeting continued for hours as the Federation representatives tried to comprehend how humans could so casually survive conditions that would kill most galactic species instantly. They were especially baffled when Tom mentioned that humans had survived on Earth for thousands of years before developing any significant technology. As the first day of contact drew to a close, Commander Gray made an announcement that would change human history forever. The Federation Council must see this. "We propose a challenge, a survival test. We will bring representatives of our hardiest species to Earth. We must understand how you survive here." Tom looked out the window at the blue marble of Earth below. He didn't think Earth was particularly special. It was just home. But as he saw the mix of fear and fascination in the aliens' expressions, he realized that everything he knew about humanity's place in the universe was about to change. "Well," he said with a smile, "when do we start?" 2 weeks after first contact, The Federation's Science Council gathered in their special environment chamber aboard their flagship. The room buzzed with heated debate. Beings of crystal, gas, energy, and other exotic forms argued about the impossibility of human existence. They must be artificial life forms, insisted lead scientist Rock, his stone-like body grinding with each movement. No natural evolution could produce creatures that survive such conditions. Tom Walker sat in his protective bubble, watching the aliens argue. He tried not to laugh when they called things like rain and wind extreme hazards. To him, their reactions seemed like someone being scared of a gentle breeze. The head scientist, a being of pure energy named Spark, floated forward. "We propose a test. We will send our most resilient species to live on Earth for 1 month. If these humans truly evolved naturally, we must understand how." Tom raised his hand. "I volunteer to be their guide. But I should warn you, Earth has many different environments. Some places are hot, others cold. Some are wet, others dry." The aliens went silent. Different environments. On the same planet. Officer Blue's gaseous form turned a pale shade of green. "How do you survive such chaos?" "We adapt," Tom said simply. "We build shelters, wear different clothes, or just get used to it." The council chose their champions for the Earth Challenge. The Stoneweavers came first, beings made of living rock who boasted they could survive any physical hardship. Their leader, Commander Stone, stood twice as tall as Tom and looked like a walking mountain. Next were the Cloudwalkers, who lived in gas giant planets and claimed they could endure any atmosphere. Captain Mist led their team, her silvery containment suit hiding her true gaseous form. The Federation also sent the Energy Weavers, beings of pure energy who believed no natural force could harm them. Their representative, Bright, glowed with confidence. "These are our hardiest species," Spark announced. "They survive in conditions that would kill most galactic life forms. Surely they can handle your Earth." Tom looked at the assembled aliens in their protective suits and environmental shields. He knew Earth would surprise them, but he tried to be diplomatic. "We'll start easy. How about a nice forest in spring?" The council agreed to the plan. They would begin in 3 days. As the meeting ended, Commander Stone approached Tom. "Human," the Rocky being rumbled, "your confidence troubles me. Our scientists say your world has acid rain, crushing gravity, and temperature swings that could crack stone. Yet you show no fear." Tom smiled. "That's because those things are normal for us, just like living in space is normal for you." The next few days were busy. The Federation set up monitoring stations around Earth. They chose a location in North America for the start of the challenge, a temperate forest with mild weather. The night before the challenge began, Tom sat in the space station's observation dome, looking down at Earth. The planet glowed blue and white against the darkness of space. To him, it was the most beautiful sight in the universe. To their visitors, it was a deadly puzzle. His radio buzzed. "Mr. Walker," Captain Mist's voice came through. "My team has concerns about tomorrow. Our suits detect something called humidity in your forest air. Will this moisture harm us?" "It's just water in the air," Tom explained. "Perfectly normal." "Normal?" Her voice crackled with disbelief. "Water, floating in the air. How do you breathe?" "The same way we always do," Tom said, realizing just how different humans were. "We're used to it." As he prepared for bed that night, Tom looked at his tablet. The weather forecast showed a 40% chance of rain tomorrow. To him, it meant maybe bringing an umbrella. To his alien guests, it would be their first encounter with one of Earth's many deadly features. "Tomorrow's going to be interesting," he muttered to himself, setting his alarm. He had a feeling the galaxy was about to learn just how tough humans really were, and it would all start with a simple walk in the woods. The morning of the challenge dawned bright and clear. Tom stood at the forest's edge, wearing nothing more complex than jeans, boots, and a t-shirt. Behind him, the alien visitors looked like they were prepared for war. Commander Stone's rocky form was sealed in a powered suit that helped him fight Earth's gravity. Captain Mist floated in her reinforced gas chamber, and Bright the Energy Weaver pulsed nervously inside a field of protective energy. "The air is so heavy," Commander Stone complained, his suit whirring with each step. "How do you move in this crushing atmosphere?" Tom watched a bird fly overhead and pointed at it. "If that little bird can fly here, I'm sure you'll manage to walk." Their first challenge came sooner than expected. A gentle breeze rustled through the trees, carrying the sweet smell of pine. To Tom, it was peaceful. To the aliens, it was chaos. Emergency, emergency. Captain Mist's form swirled wildly in her container. "The atmosphere is moving. It's attacking us with plant particles." Tom tried not to smile. "That's just wind carrying pine needles. It happens all the time here." "All the time?" Bright flickered in disbelief. "You live with constant atmospheric turbulence." The group moved deeper into the forest. Tom showed them simple earth things. A stream, some flowers, a squirrel gathering nuts. Each demonstration brought new shock from the visitors. "This liquid water flows freely on your surface?" Commander Stone asked, staring at the stream. "Uncontained, uncontrolled. Wait until you see the oceans," Tom replied. That's when the first disaster struck. A stone weaver scientist, trying to study a flower, accidentally opened his suit's gravity controls. Earth's full gravity hit him instantly. His crystal-like form cracked under the pressure, and they had to evacuate him to the orbiting ship. An hour later, one of the Cloudwalkers discovered why their protective suits needed waterproofing. A single drop of dew from a leaf shorted out her atmosphere regulator. Her gaseous form began to dissipate before emergency teleporters saved her. By midday, the alien group had shrunk by a third. Those remaining stayed close to Tom, treating him like some kind of survival expert. To him, it was just a pleasant walk in the woods. "I don't understand," Bright said, watching Tom drink from his water bottle. "You just put dihydrogen monoxide inside your body, voluntarily. We call it water," Tom explained. "And yes, we need it to live. About 8 glasses a day." The aliens fell silent, processing this information. Their data had shown that water was one of the most common substances on Earth, and humans not only survived it, they needed it. The afternoon brought new challenges. The temperature rose by 10 degrees, a normal change for Earth. The visitors panicked at their instruments' readings. The thermal variations. Commander Stone's voice shook. "How do you maintain molecular stability?" Tom wiped some sweat from his forehead. "Our bodies handle it automatically. We sweat when hot, shiver when cold." Simple. But it wasn't simple to the aliens. Their own worlds had constant temperatures. The idea of a planet changing temperature during a single day seemed impossible to them. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the trees, Tom checked his weather app. A light rain was forecast for tomorrow. He looked at the remaining aliens, already struggling with basic Earth conditions, and wondered how they would handle actual weather. "Perhaps we should return to the base camp," he suggested, watching Commander Stone's suit struggle with its third gravity adjustment of the day. "Agreed," Captain Mist said quickly. "We must analyze today's data. Your world, it defies everything we know about habitable planets." As they walked back, Tom heard them muttering among themselves. Words like impossible and supernatural kept coming up. He looked around at the peaceful forest, the setting sun, the gentle breeze, all things he had known since childhood. Day 1, he thought to himself, and we haven't even shown them rain yet. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, and Tom was starting to understand why the galaxy saw humans as something special. Not because they had amazing technology or incredible powers, but because they called this deadly world home. Tom woke up early the next morning to check the weather radar. The small storm he had expected had grown into something bigger. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon, and the air felt heavy with coming rain. In the Federation's base camp, alarms were already going off. The atmosphere. Captain Mist swirled frantically in her containment suit. It's becoming even denser. Our instruments show increasing water content. Commander Stone's rocky form trembled inside his protective suit. The air pressure is changing. How can a planet's atmosphere change so quickly? Tom walked into the camp drinking his morning coffee. Just a storm coming. Pretty normal for this time of year. Normal. Bright flickered so intensely that his energy shield sparked. You regularly experience atmospheric upheavals. Before Tom could answer, the first distant rumble of thunder reached them. The effect on the aliens was immediate and dramatic. The remaining stone weavers huddled together, their crystalline forms vibrating with each new rumble. The Cloudwalkers' gaseous bodies swirled in patterns that Tom guessed meant extreme fear. What was that terrible sound? Commander Stone demanded. Thunder, Tom said calmly, sipping his coffee. It happens when a brilliant flash of lightning cut across the sky, followed by a loud crack of thunder. Captain Mist's containment suit nearly toppled over as she panicked inside it. Energy weapons, she screamed. Your planet is attacking us with massive energy discharges. Tom tried to explain about electrical charges in clouds, but another lightning bolt lit up the sky. This time, it struck a tree about half a mile away. The sound was like a cannon shot. The effect was chaos. 3 more aliens immediately activated their emergency teleporters, vanishing back to the safety of the orbiting ship. Those who remained were frozen in terror. We must abort the mission. Commander Stone's voice shook along with his rocky body. This planet is too unstable, too dangerous. Rain began to fall, first as a light drizzle, then growing steadily heavier. Tom opened an umbrella, but the aliens treated each raindrop like it was a missile. How do you survive? Bright asked, his energy form dimming with what seemed like awe. These water projectiles fall from your sky regularly. We call it rain, Tom explained, watching water roll off his umbrella. It helps our plants grow, waters our crops, fills our rivers. We need it to live. A particularly bright flash of lightning, followed immediately by booming thunder, made even the bravest aliens jump. Their protective suits and shields worked overtime to defend against what Tom knew was just a normal spring storm. Your species, Captain Mist said, her voice filled with a mix of fear and respect. You evolved on this world. With these conditions. Tom nodded. This is pretty mild, actually. You should see a hurricane, or a tornado, or a blizzard. There are worse atmospheric disturbances than this. Commander Stone sounded horrified. The storm intensified. Wind whipped through the trees. Rain fell harder, and lightning continued to flash across the sky. To Tom, it was nothing more than a reason to stay under his umbrella. To the aliens, it was like watching the apocalypse. Finally, the Federation's orbiting ship sent down an urgent message. They were detecting a severe storm system approaching, what humans called a supercell thunderstorm. They wanted to evacuate all remaining participants. This is merely a normal weather pattern, Bright asked, watching the storm with his energy form flickering rapidly. And humans just endure it. We do more than endure it, Tom said, smiling as another lightning bolt lit up the sky. We study it. We predict it. We even chase storms for fun sometimes. That was the breaking point. The last of the alien observers, except for the 3 leaders, activated their emergency teleporters. As they vanished, Tom could have sworn he heard one of them muttering something about humans being immortal gods. Thunder rolled across the sky once more, and Tom looked at the 3 remaining alien leaders. So, he said cheerfully, who wants to learn about rainbows after the storm ends? In the Federation's orbital laboratory, dozens of alien scientists crowded around their instruments. They had spent days studying the data from Earth, and what they found shocked them all. Impossible. Professor Light, a senior energy weaver, stared at the holographic display of human DNA. Their genetic structure. It's unlike anything we've seen before. Tom sat in his observation chamber, watching as the aliens tried to understand how humans worked. After the storm incident, The Federation had shifted their focus from survival tests to studying human biology. "Watch this again," Tom said, picking up a cup of hot coffee. The aliens monitored as he drank it, then immediately took a bite of ice cream. Their instruments went crazy. "Your internal temperature, it barely changed," Commander Stone exclaimed. "How did you survive ingesting substances with such extreme temperature differences?" Tom shrugged. "Our bodies handle it automatically. We can eat hot soup and ice cream in the same meal. It's normal for us." The scientists brought up more data. They had discovered that humans could survive in temperatures from well below freezing to desert heat. They could eat food that would kill other species. They could even heal from wounds that would be fatal to most galactic races. "Look at this," Captain Mist pointed to a diagram of human muscle structure. "They don't just survive in high gravity. They get stronger in it. Exercise actually makes them tougher." Professor Light flickered excitedly. "And their adaptability. They can live anywhere on their planet. Desert, jungle, Arctic. They just put on different clothes and continue as normal." The research team had also discovered something else remarkable. While other species needed complex technology to survive different environments, humans had built-in systems for almost everything. "They have internal temperature regulation," one scientist noted. "Natural water filtration through kidneys. An immune system that fights off millions of microscopic invaders daily. Built-in radiation protection in their skin. They're like walking survival suits." Tom watched as they listed more human abilities that seemed amazing to them, but normal to him. Sweating to cool down. Shivering to warm up. Calluses forming to protect skin. Muscles growing stronger with use. Bones healing from breaks. Fighting off diseases naturally. "And their respiratory system," Captain Mist exclaimed. "They don't just survive in oxygen. They need it to live. They breathe a corrosive gas that would destroy most species." Commander Stone studied the data about human children. Even their young are incredibly resilient. They can fall down, get up, and keep running. Our young would shatter under such impacts. The Federation scientists had to accept a stunning truth. Humans weren't just surviving on Earth. They were perfectly adapted to it. Everything that made Earth deadly to other species had helped shape humans into what they were. "Think about it," Professor Light said, his energy form glowing brightly with excitement. "Their world has thousands of different environments. Constant temperature changes, varying gravity due to altitude, storms, earthquakes, volcanoes. Every challenge made them stronger." Tom decided to demonstrate something else. He asked for permission to leave his observation chamber and walk around the lab. The aliens watched in amazement as he easily adjusted to the different gravity sections of the ship. "Remarkable," Captain Mist observed. "No other species can adapt to gravity changes so quickly." As the day went on, more test results came in. The scientists found that humans could hold their breath for minutes, go days without food, survive weeks without proper shelter, recover from massive blood loss, think clearly under extreme stress. "I believe we understand now," Commander Stone said finally. "Earth isn't just a death world. It's a forge. It created humans to be the ultimate survivors." Tom listened to their excited discussions about human potential. To him, everything they found amazing was just part of being human. But now he understood why the galaxy saw his species differently. "Would you like to see how we dance?" he asked with a smile, knowing their instruments would go crazy trying to understand how humans could move so freely in Earth's crushing gravity. The aliens had started the challenge thinking that they were testing humans. Instead, they had discovered something unprecedented in the galaxy, a species that didn't just endure extreme conditions, but thrived in them. The Federation's Grand Council chamber was packed. Representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered to hear the final report about humans. The massive room hummed with different atmospheric chambers and environmental suits, each protecting aliens from what humans would consider normal air. Tom stood on the speaking platform, wearing his usual casual clothes. Next to him, Commander Stone, Captain Mist, and Professor Light prepared to present their findings. Esteemed council members, Commander Stone began, his rocky form gleaming under the chamber's lights. What we discovered on Earth changes everything we thought we knew about evolution. The chamber's main screen displayed images of Earth's various environments: frozen poles, burning deserts, deep oceans, high mountains, dense jungles. Next to each image was data showing conditions that would kill most alien species instantly. Unlike us, Captain Mist explained, her gaseous form swirling calmly now. Humans didn't evolve in carefully controlled conditions. Their world forced them to adapt to everything. Professor Light took over, his energy form pulsing with excitement. Think about our own worlds. We stone weavers evolved on a planet with stable gravity and temperature. The cloudwalkers developed in constant atmospheric conditions. Energy weavers emerged in unchanging energy fields. He paused for effect. But Earth never stops changing. It forces its life forms to adapt or die. And humans adapted to everything. The council murmured as more data appeared on the screen. Humans could survive temperature ranges that would shatter rock-based life forms. Their lungs could filter air that would dissolve most species. Their bodies could process foods that would be poison to others. Their bones and muscles could handle gravity changes that would crush most aliens. But here's the most important discovery, Commander Stone announced. Humans don't just survive these conditions, they get stronger from them. Tom stepped forward and lifted a heavy metal container that weighed as much as 3 stone weavers. The council chambers erupted in shocked whispers. That's not even the most impressive part, Captain Mist added. Humans can teach their bodies to become even stronger. They call it training. They intentionally stress their systems to improve them. Professor Light displayed a new set of images showing humans climbing mountains, diving in oceans, running marathons, and exploring caves. They do these things for fun, he explained. What we consider survival situations, they consider recreation. The Council's supreme leader, a being of pure thought contained in a crystal matrix, spoke for the first time. What are you suggesting about humanity's place in the galaxy? Commander Stone stepped forward. We propose classifying humans as alpha survivors. Their ability to endure and adapt makes them uniquely qualified for tasks no other species can handle. Already, Captain Mist added, 17 Federation worlds have requested human consultants to help design survival training programs. 3 exploration fleets want human crew members for dangerous missions. Tom listened as the aliens debated humanity's role in galactic society. Some feared humans' incredible survival abilities made them too dangerous. Others saw humans as valuable allies who could go places and do things no other species could manage. I have a question for the human. The Supreme Leader's voice echoed in the chamber. Do your people realize how extraordinary you are? Tom thought about his normal life on Earth, hiking in rain, swimming in cold water, eating spicy food, exercising to get stronger. All things that apparently terrified other species. We're not extraordinary, he replied honestly. We're just human. Earth made us this way. The Supreme Leader's crystal matrix glowed brightly. Perhaps that is the most extraordinary thing of all. You achieved the impossible without even realizing it was impossible. As the council continued their discussions, Tom smiled to himself. In just a few weeks, humanity had gone from being unknown to being considered one of the most remarkable species in the galaxy, and all they had to do was be themselves. The council's decision was unanimous. Earth would be reclassified from Deathworld Blue 7 to Evolution Prime, the planet that created the galaxy's ultimate survivors. So, Tom asked during a break in the proceedings, who wants to learn about human sports next? The nervous looks from the aliens told him that would be another interesting discussion. 1 year after first contact, Earth had changed. The Federation's massive training facility stood in the Rocky Mountains, its strange architecture gleaming against the snow-capped peaks. Above the main entrance, a sign read, Earth Survival Academy, where the galaxy's toughest train. Tom Walker, now chief instructor, watched as a new group of alien students arrived. Their environmental suits and protective bubbles glinted in the morning sun. "Welcome to Earth," he announced to the nervous group. "In the next 3 months, we'll teach you how to survive in what your people call extreme conditions. We call it Tuesday." The Academy had become the most prestigious survival school in the galaxy. Species from thousands of worlds sent their best to learn from humans. Today's class included rock beings, gas forms, energy creatures, and even a few liquid-based life forms. "First lesson," Tom said, pointing to the sky. "Earth weather. Right now, it's a calm spring day. Perfect for beginners." Commander Stone, now a permanent instructor, rumbled with what passed for laughter among stoneweavers. He remembered his own first day on Earth, how terrified he'd been of a simple thunderstorm. Now he helped other aliens face their fears. "Remember," Tom continued, "every graduate of this academy has learned to handle Earth conditions. If they could do it, so can you." The training facility was a marvel of both human and alien technology. It had different zones, simulating Earth's various environments. A tropical zone with high humidity, a desert section with temperature extremes, a mountain area with changing air pressure, an ocean simulator for underwater training, weather chambers for storm exposure. But the most important training happened outside, in real Earth conditions. That's where aliens learned to truly adapt. Captain Mist floated nearby in her newer, much lighter containment suit. After a year on Earth, she needed far less protection than before. "Show them the graduation wall," she suggested. Tom led the group to a massive display showing hundreds of images. Each showed a different alien species achieving something they once thought impossible. A stoneweaver swimming in a lake, a cloudwalker standing in rain, an energy weaver moving through a snowstorm, various species hiking Earth's mountains. A year ago, Tom told the new students, most of these activities were considered fatal for these species. Now they're basic graduation requirements. Professor Light, who had become the Academy's chief researcher, added, "We're not just teaching survival. We're proving that adaptation is possible for any species." The Academy had other impacts too. Federation ships now included Earth-grade safety systems. Exploration teams trained in Earth gravity could survive on almost any planet. Emergency responders learned to handle changing conditions like humans did. "Humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy," Commander Stone often said, "isn't technology or resources. It's showing us what's possible." A young stoneweaver raised their crystalline arm. "But why do humans help us? You could keep your abilities secret, use them for advantage." Tom smiled. "Because that's another thing Earth taught us. The best way to survive is to help each other. A stronger galaxy means a better future for everyone." As if to emphasize his point, the sky rumbled with distant thunder. A year ago, such a sound would have sent aliens running for their ships. Now they just looked up with interest, their instruments measuring the approaching storm. "Perfect timing," Tom said. "Weather training starts early today. Who's ready to see their first rainbow?" The Academy's success had changed how the galaxy saw Earth. It wasn't just a deadly world that somehow produced an impossible species. It was a proving ground, a place where any being could discover their true potential. As the new students prepared for their first lesson, Tom looked at the Academy's motto, carved in multiple alien languages. "Earth, where the impossible becomes possible." The impossible blue Deathworld had become the galaxy's greatest teacher, and humanity its most surprising instructors, not because they were special, but because they proved that with the right training and attitude, anyone could survive the impossible. "Now," Tom said as the first raindrops fell, "let's begin."